Welcome back to our channel for another thrilling dive into the world of Forrester, Logan, and Spencer. Today is a spectacular day to unpack the most explosive, jaw-dropping drama hitting your screens. Grab your seats, because the stakes have never been higher. The Mediterranean breeze suddenly feels like ice. Picture the scene. The golden sands of Monte Carlo, the crashing waves, the picturesque seaside chapel reunion shattered in an absolute instant. Steffy Forrester Finnegan, riding the high of a romantic European getaway, spots a suspiciously familiar figure lounging under the Riviera sun. The tension spikes. The camera pans. Steffy marches over, her pulse pounding, and violently yanks the sun towel away. Boom! Sheila. The monster is out of the shadows. Sheila swears she comes in peace, her hands raised in a twisted display of innocence. But the real horror doesn't come from the nine-toed villain. The true nightmare comes from the man standing right next to Steffy. John Finnegan says nothing. His silence is deafening. It is a guilty, suffocating silence that tells Steffy everything she needs to know. He knew. He packed his mother's dark secret right alongside the sunscreen. He boarded that flight in Los Angeles, sat next to the woman who put a bullet in them both, and chose to protect her over his own wife. The betrayal is absolute. It is a visceral, gut-wrenching shockwave that completely obliterates the romantic Monaco reunion. Steffy's mind races, doing the catastrophic math in a fraction of a second. The husband she trusted, the man she loves, actively harbored a fugitive from their family's peace. This is peak, high-stakes drama, and the fallout is instantaneous. The reaction is brutal, swift, and unapologetic. Steffy does not wait for an explanation. She does not stick around for a tearful apology or a desperate plea for understanding. She looks at the man who is supposed to be her ultimate protector and sees a traitor. In a move that will go down in bold and the beautiful history, Steffy rips her wedding ring off her finger. The symbol of their survival, their love, their unbreakable bond, gone in a flash. She hurls the diamond directly at Finn's chest. It bounces off him, a tiny, glittering casualty of a war Sheila just reignited. Steffy turns on her heel and flees. She leaves the principality behind, sprinting toward the nearest airport, desperate to put an ocean between herself and the husband who lied to her face. But mark these words, nobody has uttered the word divorce. The marriage is legally intact, but the emotional foundation is completely pulverized. Friday's upcoming episode promises that Steffy is utterly overcome with emotions. High above the Atlantic, sitting on a private jet or a first-class commercial seat, the adrenaline will finally crash. The tears will fall. These are not just tears of sorrow. They are tears of feral, unyielding rage. She built her entire identity around protecting her children from Sheila. Blowing up her marriage to maintain that boundary feels exactly like a devastating loss. The ring throw was a gesture, a violent boundary being drawn in the sand, but the true war is only just beginning. Finn is left standing on the beach, the fuse he lit finally detonating in his face. Silence was his chosen weapon of protection, and it just cost him everything. But wait, what if Steffy never makes it to the runway? What if the flight out of Monte Carlo is delayed by a catastrophic twist of fate? The spoiler chatter circulating through the soap opera underground points toward a massive, genuine scare in Monaco before Steffy can truly escape. The whispers are loud and terrifying. Steffy is in real danger. The winding, treacherous cliffside roads of the Riviera are notorious. A screech of tires, a sudden slip, a fatal misstep. And who is perfectly positioned to witness this impending disaster? Sheila. The woman who came to stalk her son might just become the most unlikely hero in daytime television history. Imagine the absolute, mind-bending paradox. Sheila, the villain who left Steffy bleeding out in a dirty Los Angeles alley, suddenly lunging forward to pull her back from the edge of a literal cliff. If Sheila saves Steffy's life, the moral scoreboard flips violently. Every single word screamed on that beach gets instantly renegotiated. How does Steffi process owing her life to her greatest tormentor? How does Finn react when the mother he covered for actually proves her twisted redemption by saving his wife? This is the kind of explosive, game-changing miracle that buys a villain a seat at the family dinner table. It is a crisis that forces the audience to question everything. Did Steffi's furious exit inadvertently hand Sheila the exact opening she has been begging for since the divorce papers dried? A villain cannot redeem herself in a vacuum. She needs a life-or-death crisis to prove her worth. Steffi's desperate flight might have just booked Sheila the ultimate hero moment. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away from the Monaco mayhem, Los Angeles is burning with its own intense, quiet heartbreak. The glamorous facade of Forrester Creations hides a devastating personal crisis. Friday's official teasers deliver a short, incredibly loaded promise. Carter Walton vows to help Daphne Rose Walton, and he vows to do it now. The newlywed couple was absolutely gutted last month by Daphne's premature ovarian insufficiency diagnosis. Early onset menopause. The words hit like a freight train, completely derailing their dreams of a natural pregnancy. Daphne, the brilliant, beautiful nose of Paris, is paralyzed by grief and guilt. She looks at Carter, a man who has wanted nothing more than a family his entire life, and feels like she has failed him. She tells her husband that the diagnosis changes nothing about how deeply she loves him, but the fear in her eyes is unmistakable. She is slipping into a dark, suffocating depression, terrified that Carter's love is tied to her ability to give him an heir. But Carter Walton is not a man who runs from a fight. He's a fixer. He is the Forrester COO, a man who negotiates impossible contracts and navigates corporate wars. He refuses to let his wife drown in despair. Carter attacks this medical crisis with the exact same ruthless, methodical precision he uses in the boardroom. He pulls Daphne into his arms and makes a fierce, unbreakable vow. He will move heaven and earth. He will open every door his vast wealth and connections can unlock. We are talking top-tier fertility specialists, cutting-edge donor egg paths, elite surrogacy agencies. Carter is determined to prove that his love for Daphne is not tied to her biology. He married the woman, not her uterus. The stakes are incredibly high for this couple. As they debate their future, the tension crackles. Can their marriage survive the grueling, emotionally exhausting gauntlet of alternative family planning? Carter is pouring every ounce of his power into saving his wife from the brink of functional depression, determined to build the family they dreamed of, no matter what it takes. This is high-stakes emotional warfare, and Carter is leading the charge with unwavering devotion. Every single resource at his disposal is being deployed to rescue his wife's shattered dreams. Let us pivot back to the impending collision course waiting for Steffi in Los Angeles. If Steffi survives the Monaco danger, if she boards that plane and flies back to California, she is walking straight into another apocalyptic nightmare. Her mother, Taylor Hayes, is currently staring down the barrel of a life-changing proposal. Deacon Sharp has dropped to one knee. He has presented a ring. He wants to make Taylor his wife. The sheer audacity of this romance is staggering. Deacon, the man who was just married to Sheila, is now trying to lock down Steffi's mother. The timing is absolutely brutal. Steffi is currently being ripped apart by Sheila's presence in Europe, and she's about to come home to find Sheila's ex-husband trying to permanently embed himself into the Forrester family tree. The explosion brewing here is nuclear. How will Steffi react when she realizes that while she was fighting for her life and her marriage against Sheila, her own mother was saying yes to Deacon? The psychological warfare is escalating on all fronts, and Steffi is trapped directly in the crossfire of her family's chaotic romantic decisions. The rapid-fire delivery of these plot points cannot be understated. Every single second counts. Finn is stranded in Monaco, staring at the ring glittering in the sand. He has to make a choice, and he has to make it now. Does he chase after his furious wife, begging on his knees for a forgiveness he absolutely does not deserve? Or does he turn to the woman standing behind him, his biological mother, and finally sever the tie that just destroyed his marriage? Sheila is watching this entire breakdown with predatory patience. She knows exactly what she is doing. She promised Finn she would stay away, but following instructions has never been her strong suit. She wants access to her son, she wants access to her grandson Hayes, and she will burn Steffi's world to ash to get it. By exposing Finn's lie of omission, Sheila has effectively driven a wedge so deep into the Shin marriage that it might completely shatter. She didn't even have to lift a weapon this time. She just had to let Finn's own cowardice do the heavy lifting. Let us break down the psychology of the ring toss. Steffi Forster Finnegan does not do anything halfway. She is a warrior, a CEO, a mother who has literally fought off attackers to protect her bloodline. When she threw that ring, she was rejecting the cowardice of Finn's silence. Finn thought he was protecting her by keeping the ugly truth hidden. He chose a beautiful lie over an ugly conversation. But secrets in this marriage are a different caliber of bullet. Steffi has been burned by cover-ups before, and she has never once thanked the person holding the match. Finn's silence was a fuse, and it burned right down to the explosive core of their trust. The absolute fury radiating from Steffi is palpable. She is feral, unyielding, and utterly traumatized by the realization that the threat is not just outside her home. It was sleeping in her bed, hiding the truth. The ring was not just jewelry. It was a promise of safety, a promise that Finn just obliterated. Meanwhile, the Logan Forster corporate war is bleeding into the international arena. While Steffi is battling Sheila, Brooke Logan Forster is dealing with her own massive betrayal in Monaco. Fanny Grayson, the elite French perfumer, has just dropped a bomb that knocked Brooke completely sideways. Fanny signed with Katie's House of Logan. Katie Logan Spencer is ruthlessly expanding her empire, poaching talent right out from under Forrester Creations. The sisterly feud has gone global. Brooke is in a deep, agonizing funk, viewing this not as bad luck, but as direct, calculated sabotage by her own flesh and blood. Ridge is desperately trying to distract his wounded wife with romance, but a bed romp cannot fix a corporate coup. The House of Logan is striking hard, and Forrester Creations is bleeding talent. The timing of this corporate disaster perfectly aligns with Steffi's personal disaster, leaving the Forrester legacy vulnerable on multiple fronts. The interconnected web of deceit, ambition, and survival is pulling tight. Every character is operating at peak desperation. Carter is fighting to save Daphne's sanity and their future family. Steffi is fighting to escape the suffocating grip of Sheila's obsession. Finn is fighting to salvage the smoldering ruins of his marriage. Taylor is fighting her own logic as she considers marrying Deacon. Katie is fighting to conquer the fashion world, leaving Brooke in the dust. The pacing is relentless. There's no time to breathe. The Bold and the Beautiful is delivering a masterclass in high-stakes drama, and the fallout from this week will permanently alter the landscape of Los Angeles and Monte Carlo. Every single decision made in these crucial hours will dictate the future of these legacy families for years to come. Focus back on the impending Monaco miracle. If the spoilers hold true, Sheila's heroic act will force a massive reckoning. Imagine the scene. Steffi, blinded by tears and rage, steps into the path of an oncoming vehicle or slips on the treacherous cliffs of the Mediterranean coast. In a flash of movement, Sheila dives. The physical impact, the screeching tires, the breathless silence that follows. Steffi opens her eyes to find the woman who shot her now bleeding to save her. How you hate the person who just gave you your life back. This is the ultimate soap opera twist. It completely paralyzes Steffi's righteous anger. It validates Finn's dangerous belief that his mother can change. It gives Sheila the golden ticket she has been ruthlessly hunting for. The psychological torment of owing a life debt to Sheila is a fate worse than death for Steffi. And what happens when the news reaches L.A.? Lee Finnegan, the woman whose careless laptop mistake allowed Sheila to track Finn in the first place, will be horrified. Lee's hatred for Sheila is legendary. But if Sheila saves Steffi, even Lee's ironclad resolve will be tested. The ripple effects will crash into every single storyline. Will Spencer, currently drowning his sorrows and tangling with the aggressive, opportunistic Melissa Dillon, will feel the shockwaves. RJ and Elektra, teaming up for the New Youth line, will have their corporate ambitions overshadowed by the family crisis. The entire canvas is about to be violently shaken by the events unfolding on the Riviera. Nobody is safe from the fallout of the Monaco disaster. Carter's battle in L.A. is just as fierce, though fought in doctors' offices instead of cliffsides. Daphne's fear that Carter only loves her for her ability to give him children is a dark, insidious thought that Carter must aggressively dismantle. He is pouring love, reassurance, and cold, hard action into this crisis. He will not let Daphne sink into depression. The show is tackling the brutal reality of premature ovarian insufficiency with raw, emotional intensity. Carter's vow is a beacon of hope in a week dominated by betrayal and rage. He is the ultimate devoted husband, standing in stark contrast to Finn's disastrous mishandling of the Sheila situation. He is not hiding the truth. He is confronting it head-on with absolute loyalty. The juxtaposition is striking. Finn tried to protect his marriage with a lie and destroyed it. Carter is protecting his marriage with absolute, unflinching truth and proactive devotion. One husband is watching his wife hurl her wedding ring at his chest. The other is holding his weeping wife and promising her the world. This is the brilliant, high-stakes storytelling that keeps us glued to the screen. The emotional whiplash between the Monaco disaster and the Los Angeles heartbreak is spectacular. It showcases the absolute extremes of love, loyalty, and the devastating consequences of keeping secrets from the people you swore to protect. As we brace for Friday's explosive cliffhanger, the questions are burning out of control. Will Steffi board that plane, or will danger intercept her? Will Finn find the courage to banish Sheila forever, or will a miracle force him to embrace her? Will Carter and Daphne find a surrogate to carry their dreams, or will the grief tear them apart? Will Taylor say yes to Deacon and ignite a civil war with her daughter? The fuse is lit. The explosion is imminent. The Bold and the Beautiful is not just delivering drama. It is delivering a catastrophic, landscape-altering earthquake that will leave no character unscathed. Let's not forget the corporate bloodbath happening simultaneously. While Steffi's personal life is detonating on the shores of Monaco, her professional empire is under siege. Katie Logan Spencer is proving to be a ruthless, calculating mastermind. By poaching Fanny Grayson, Katie has signaled that the House of Logan is not just a local threat. It is a global powerhouse ready to crush Forrester Creations. Brooke's devastation is palpable. She flew to Europe to solidify international connections, only to find that her own sister had already severed them. The fashion war is escalating with unprecedented ferocity. Ridge's attempts to soothe Brooke with romantic distractions are a temporary bandage on a gaping corporate wound. When Steffi finally returns to the CEO chair, if she returns in one piece, she'll have to fight a war on two fronts: Sheila in her personal life and Katie Logan in the boardroom. The sheer velocity of these intertwined crises is breathtaking. Every glance, every withheld truth, every thrown ring carries the weight of 1,000 past betrayals. Finn's fatal error was forgetting who he married. Steffi is not a woman who needs to be coddled with silence. She is a warrior who demands the brutal truth. By denying her that truth, Finn didn't just cross a line. He erased it entirely. Now, he must face the terrifying reality that his mother's obsession has cost him the only family that truly mattered. Sheila's predatory patience has paid off in the most destructive way possible. She didn't have to lift a finger to break the Shin marriage. She just had to let Finn's own fear do the work for her. Will Steffi forgive Finn, or Is the Shin marriage dead forever? Drop your wildest theories in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button and join our channel for more explosive BNB updates.